Hello, muscle car fans. So we have, I believe, the first muscle cars, Pontiac GTOs. At least the internet's crediting them as the first muscle cars. So these two are made by Johnny Lightning, and in particular they're the Royal Bobcat, or Royal Pontiac GTOs. So there's a little history here in the back here. There was a family, Ace Wilson Sr., they had a dairy farm and they're quite wealthy, and Ace Wilson Jr. was a rebellious son that liked to do street racing, I think. So Sr. bought him a Pontiac dealership in the Detroit, Michigan area to try to help him settle down and do something with his life instead of like racing people and stuff on the streets. But anyway, so Ace Jr. loved racing, so he started developing parts for Pontiacs, and it says here that on the front, the peak year I think of '66, they sold over 1,000 conversion kits for the Pontiacs, and so they became one of the first mail order performance shops. And down here it says here special paint scheme. I guess I read an article about this Royal dealership, and in 1968 they started to shoehorn the 428 cubic inch engine into GTOs, so I think that's probably like this guy. Alright, so that's all I really learned. Let's take a look at these things. I think I learned about these actual models from Champion DJ K's channel. He loves Johnny Lightning's. Same with diecast him. Let's start with the chronological order. This guy. These photographs are up here. Get a better angle here. Focus on the model. Okay. Let's see about the proportions. Doesn't seem too bad to me. So Wikipedia says this car has Coke bottle styling and a tunneled rear lights. I don't know what they mean by the tunneling there, but I guess, well, I don't know to be honest with you, but I can see Coke bottle styling, how it crimps in the middle, there it looks like a Coke bottle, right? I don't know if it's from the top view or probably just the side view. One thing I'm curious about is the scale. I have a Ghostbusters car from this brand, and it's very, very out of scale. So I looked up the wheelbase of this car, and it's supposed to be 2921 millimeters. So I'm going to try to measure axle to axle on this. So I get around 44.9. 93. 165 scale, it's not too far off. There could be, play in the axles themselves. Maybe the axle is warped, so it's possible this actually is 164 scale, at least on wheelbase. Alright, so that's pleasant to know. Let me get this stuff out of the way now. So let's take a look at these graphics here. I think Johnny Lightning always tampo prints their stuff on, no decal stuff, which I see in more expensive models, which makes no sense to me. So it's great because tampos, they're literally paints, so they're not going to crack off or anything like a plastic decal would. So to suffice to say, this is great, all these graphics. They're quite legible. Yeah, just try to read them all, I guess. Alright, so look at the wheels. They look nice. They look like the photographs. The tires, I like the shape of the tires, how they're curved on the outside, like they're ballooning out, like old tires do. I kind of feel like there's a recess here, but I don't think there's air passing between the spokes because I don't see any light on the other side. They're still okay. No. I was wondering if there's like white walls on that backside or something and they're put on backwards, but no, these are just plain black tires. Well, while we're down here, one reason why I don't really like Johnny Lightning so much is they don't care about tires, like the scale of them. They just seem to have this tire and they put them on all their models. So it's very wide, which doesn't look so bad on the rear, but it just looks weird on the front, The width of this tire does not match the width of a tire like in that photograph. So, or even rear, to be honest with you. Doesn't really say what the car is unless it's in that very, very tiny font. No, I don't think so. So that's another thing I don't like about this brand. Like any kid that picks this up, or me that picks this up, they might not know what this thing is, right? So it's just weird. And then it's press fit together, so if there are any quality problems, it'd be hard to fix. Alright, well, let's go around to the front here. We got the 4 headlights that just painted white, and then the bumper is just casted in. Alright, GTO looks good though. I'm guessing these are the turn signals. They're painted, but they're kind of like a really dark, they almost look like the same gold. They don't really look orange. But the real photograph just has clear lights there, so those photographs I pulled up are a replica, by the way. I don't think it's the original car. Alright. That goes in pretty far. Not a fan of the big hood cap, of course. And let's see if the hood opens. Was it worth it? Well, at least the hood opens enough that you can actually see some detail. And then, you know, the engine is painted in a way you can actually see some detail too. You know, it looks like it's a blue metallic paint, so that's kind of neat. And then it's nice to see that the air filters actually go up into this crevice here. There actually are holes up in this hood, so that's pretty nice, I guess. Seems to be a separate piece. So yeah, there is revving, right? There's a radiator as well. Well, to Johnny Lightning's credit, I gotta say that's actually not so bad. I like the, I actually like that it's loose because it just reminds me of an engine revving. All right. Okay, so casted in wiper blades, and then some silver paint going around the windows on the casting itself. This is a nice gold paint. There's a Pontiac badge. Unfortunately, it's shifted to the right. Got some more text up here. Probably the driver of this car. This is probably a drag car, right? Some sort of drag racing class. Typical molded interior. Unfortunately, the color choice makes it really hard to see anything. It's there if you pull out a flashlight. I'm not going to bother this time. We have 2 cars to review. Alright, red looks good here. A little silver. Some silver paint around that molded in bumper. And then there, GTO looks alright. So, well, rolls. I think all Johnny Lightnings roll, am I correct? Or they're supposed to roll. The stance here, I feel like it's a little high. That's another thing I've noticed in this brand. But it's not too bad. I can live with it. Alright, so that's that one. Let's start this one off with the scale measurement. The 1969 GTO is supposed to have a wheelbase of 2845. So let's try to divide that with the wheelbase and measure. Alright, I'm getting 42.34. Oh, now you see this one's way off. It's like 167 scale. So it's much smaller than it should be. So that's why I measured this thing. It just, that's too bad. Alright, well, getting past the scale, let's see if it looks like the photos. So you can see the paint job here on this blue one. It's got that stripe going across the top there. Here's a rear view of a different car, or maybe it's the same car. Couldn't really find pictures of this color scheme on this car. Alright, so let's see about this one. GTO looks pretty nice. What does it say under it? Well, I suppose that's supposed to say Royal Automotive, maybe? It seems like the print got messed up or something. Alright, the gold line here does go around pretty nice, and up here it says something as well. can't make it out. I think Royal Bobcat and a checkered flag. Alright, door handle sticks out, little lock there. This interior is a lot better because of its color choice. So you can see the molded in gauges. That's a really stubby shifter there, Hot Wheels style. Some ribbing on the seats and stuff. The gold down here looks pretty nice. It's actually got a little stripe of the original paint on it too. The wheels, we got gold wheels, and then some red wall tires, red line tires. Some of that silver paint to mimic the chrome again. And over here, GTO, the casted in bumper, painted silver, but not very well. You know, a lot of the bottom colors coming through. I'm now noticing that this is actually a separate process. So there's gold paint, and then they tampo printed gold stripes on top of it. Okay. Let me back out again. License plate. Okay, so I'm sure that's specific to someone's car. This is all painted nicely in here. GTO. Yeah, got the little chrome trim going around and bisecting it. Yeah, the gold up here looks nicely centered, so that's nice. Probably the engine displacement on this. No, it says Ram Air 5 or Ram Air V. Does this open? Hold on. Yeah, I gotta give it some seriously hard wax there, but unfortunately I don't think this one's gonna open any more than this, so that's kind of silly, right? You can barely look into this thing, and then it's compounded by the fact that it's very dark in there, so this is pretty miserable. This is not worth it. Yeah, that's not good. Luckily, because of the dark color, it hides this panel gap very well. Well, maybe not very well, because this is still quite noticeable. Over here it's alright. Alright, now let's see here. This side, maybe the tires are a little messed up, but I'll try to mess with it later. Printing looks good. Then the back, yeah, all looks good. I think there's some silver paint right here for the trim there. Alright, taillights, yeah, casted in bumper. Red paint for the taillights, which I can't seem to focus on for some reason. There we go. It's nice to see the license plate. Two exhaust tips. No depth to them though, but they're pretty small, so I can understand. And then some paint there, silver trim, although it's not very well done. You know, the gold is covering the silver on the top part. Nice texture on the rear, I don't know what you call that on a car. The rear shelf, I guess, above the seats. Alright. So weird again, this brand, they just don't tell you what the car is, just tells you who made it. And then again, the goofy thick tires, and then it's press fit together. So at least it's not listing. I've seen some other ones where I think they're like, you know, listing to one side. So it's the reason why I don't care for press fit vehicles. You can't fix them. All right, let's compare it to. Well, you don't really have too many other Pontiacs, so I'll put two spinning machines here. So I do have this I think this is an M2 machines, but one of their, it's a 68 Firebird. So I guess that would be closest to this 69. And then I don't really have anything for this one but I have this Pontiac Firebird from Kyosho, but it's from 1977. So yeah, you see, if you're in the market for a solar spinner, this one here only has one big solar panel, but clearly it's more capable than the one with the 4 panels. which doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this is getting light from 4 sides, and the glass itself, if you add up these 4, it looks bigger than this one. But this one has a heavy plastic disc on it. This is just running a CD, right? And then these cars weigh the same. This Kyosho has a plastic base. Yeah, this M2 has a plastic base, so I'd say the cars are probably relatively close. But anyway, so this one has more power. This one takes a little bit longer. I'm not sure if these things get old or what, these solar spinners. I've opened them up. There's no battery inside that I could see. So maybe it's just gunk or something. Maybe the motor the brushes wear out or something. Alright, well, here's a top view, guys, if you need to see that. Well, it's the scale that bothers me on this one. This is a nice looking model. It's just, it can't really sit in the same display as my premium brands. It pretty much is going to probably end up in a box somewhere. This one is close enough that I could, show it next to some other, like those Kyoshos, and I think it'll look pretty good. Except I don't really like the white headlights. I like the appearance of this much more because it's hiding the panel gap and just the design of that vehicle with the blacked out grille. It just looks nicer. So, anyways, if you love Pontiac GTOs, I think this is a pretty good set. It wasn't a really expensive, set to buy, so look into it yourself if you're interested. But until then, I guess that'll be it for today's Pontiac show. I'll see you around. Thank you.